action. So what are we doing?
Something about the steering.
We are putting what on the Gladiator?
I do not know.
We are putting a Chevy gearbox on the Gladiator.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. A PSC kit. What we gotta do is take the intake off so we can gain access. Figured we start with something super simple. And then plug the hose, sensor, pop the little clips, hold the wires on this piece. This comes off as well for the intake tube. Now we got these two 10mm bolts out of there.
It's still hot back here, Mom.
Is that hot?
No more shorts and an untucked t-shirt. What are those?
Okay, let's take the inner fender off.
Yeah, and they suck. Yes, they do. Because they're plastic. I thought they were. I'm talking. I'm talking. Oh, I thought they were. I thought.
Your dad's gonna show you.
We need to do this side, not that side.
We've got to
Actually, we gotta do both sides.
Yeah.
All right.
watching.
So, just gotta put it in there. And then you just turn it.
And it releases.
What?
You wanna go through and do them?
What? Ow. Which one should I do?
Well, you got one here, you got two up there. See how easy that was?
Here you go. Are you coming out?
You gotta get this one up here.
Well, you're just going in all the weirdest spots, huh?
Oh.
I can raise the Jeep up some.
That's a good idea. Now we're off-roading.
Now you got this one left. Now it's gonna make it fall, so be careful.
Good thing Dad's holding it. I would have just let the thing.
So, we got to take this piece off. This is the electronic power steering pump.
That's the one that nobody likes.
And so does your bump stop.
Yeah, the bump stop's already going away anyways, by itself. We need to remove these two bolts to hold this bracket on here. And then those look like mounting bolts as well. Yeah? So, let's see if we can find a socket to fit those.
14, so it must be a 13.
Check it out at 13. See? Yeah, you did pretty good on that first guess there.
Is it a 13?
Yep.
Nice.
That was a solid yes. So you'll probably need a little extension, just so you can. All right, that works. That's a little bigger than what you need, but it will do the job.
Just make sure you're on there before you start turning,
Yeah,
otherwise you can round it off.
Which way?
Loosen it, not tighten it.
Other way.
Yep. Okay. We need to get the hose from underneath on the inside.
Are we doing oil change now?
No, you gotta take the hose off.
This is where the airbox being off, it'd be a lot easier.
But because we have a snorkel and we do things backwards.
And because we're idiots.
You see what he's doing?
Yeah, doing doing something with the plier and I'm doing something with the tire.
We're doing that.
Why?
This ain't Wheel of Fortune. Or The Price is Right.
Oh.
But this is a cooler wheel. Cooler wheel. And it's gonna break. Break. What am I doing? Message of breaking.
I got the clamp loose. You want to pull the lock on that hoist arm? I'm going to try to reach in the side to pull
As
the-
you record, I'll do it. This tires me out more. So then I have an excuse to go inside.
I'm going to try to reach in here and get it, to get the hose off.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right,
Maybe,
what?
with a pair of pliers.
Fitting in there.
Pair of pliers, I might be able to get it to pop off.
You ready to catch all the fluid?
No. I'm not catching the fluid.
You ready to catch all the fluid?
He's ready to catch all the fluid. Or she. Actually, ice cream bucket all ready to catch the fluid. Is that an ice cream bucket? Because it looks like I figured.
Hold the bucket.
What?
Can you see where it's coming down?
Coming down the frame.
That's exactly where.
Why is it clear?
Yeah,
Because
why
it's
is
water, that's why it doesn't have no hydraulic pressure. That's why it can't turn. It's got water for power steering fluid. It all adds up.
Why is it water?
It's not water.
Then why is it clear?
It's a different kind of fluid.
There you go. You need to loosen this.
I
Pull it to you.
can't.
It looks like this is probably the pressure line. That line up there is just the feed line from the reservoir down.
I think that's good enough to take off.
Come off.
No, but I think it's good enough to take it off by hand.
Yeah. All right. Want to grab your impact?
Yeah, your impact.
I ain't got none.
Put it on the cart. Go
It's
grab
not
it.
mine, it's Dad's.
Go grab it.
Is it on reverse?
Yes or no?
Yes. I think so.
Why?
I don't know.
If you have it up there, is that the right way for the bolts you've already taken out?
Yeah.
I think that looks better. I would try that way.
Well, what board am I even taking out?
These two. Hit it.
Keep going.
Jesus. Was not anticipating that, I'll be honest with you.
Dad.
Make sure it's on there. Looks like it is. All right, try it. See if you can hold it.
You
here.
hold. Huh? I can't hear you.
Okay. Now pull the bolt out.
Oh, I thought you do.
Pull straight out. You'll be all right.
Ah,
Okay. Now we're actually gonna save these.
obviously.
And I'll put it all. I'm gonna try to take it all off nicely. That way, if somebody wrecks their Jeep and they need a power, a stock replacement, I might have an option. I don't know if will or not. You want to look underneath? from underneath and look up on the backside, see if you can see if there's another bolt like that back there that we can get to. Go into this pump.
Oh! Ow! I can't see anything except for Jeep and a bunged head. Can you see?
I mean, yeah, you can't see anything because the radiator support's there. So you got the power steering pump off. Now removing all this. What are you trying to do?
Get the belt off.
Well, it's not going back on. Can you just cut it off?
Well, I need to have a way to get it back, get a new one on too. So I had to take the evap canister out the front of the motor. Now I'm trying to get stuff figured out so I can get the belt off. Okay. All right. Down loosens the belt. It's got a hydraulic cylinder down there. So it's not a spring, so you got to keep a steady pressure and it lets loose more and more.
Get it?
Yep. So I had to use a 6-inch extension, 1/2-inch drive to get out far enough to be able to use a breaker bar. Need to figure out where they're mounting the power steering pump on this engine. Yep.
Well, since Levi has left us, where are we at? Other than regretting life decisions.
So they're pulling the power steering lines off to go to the gearbox. They run along underneath the radiator, kind of make a half a square. They just mount up with some bolts. Got those dropped and letting them drain out some. I had to unhook the hoses from the gearbox, which was a
Treat.
no, it wasn't bad. It was a 18 millimeter. Those hoses on the gearbox, 18 millimeter. I got them from right through here with a wrench, but that way the hose set can completely come out. Also, what while I was over here working, you have to loosen the motor mount because you have to jack the motor up some. You can come over, you can see where it's at.
Your gut's in the way.
Well, now you're in the way, so you're gonna have to point. Nah, I knew it. Relinquish the power. Right there, right where my finger. You can see the gap. That is also an 18. I put an 18 deep socket on it and a flex head ratchet, and I was able to ratchet it. You don't have to take that one all the way off. You got to loosen it a bunch on the driver's side. The passenger side does have to come all the way off because that's what this bracket does. It replaces the engine mount bracket. So it'll replace that entire bracket. Then you put that factory bolt back through, or nut back on. Bolt this to the engine itself. And then it looks like the pump's gonna just bolt right to this. Boom.
So how far do you have to get the engine to go up?
They say about 1 inch, which I'm probably pretty close. I'm gonna attempt it there.
And what's the next step?
I gotta remove the bolts, you can't see it all.
Oh.
Go into the engine.
So that one's the old motor mount on the passenger side, and this one is the one from PSC that the pump bolts to.
Not a lot of fun.
Nope. Not sketchy at all. Now, the fun of putting that one back in its place.
Hope this doesn't get in the way of anything. Slow right in your home, baby. Come on, baby. Slow right in your home. Okay.
It's on the stud. How's that pump gonna fit there? Is the motor mount swap done?
Yep, I just gotta lower it down, back into its hole, and then tighten the nuts.
And what did you have to chop off?
Part of the frame side motor mount. I don't know if I had to. They say you have to. So I did it. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, I gotta get the block out.
Gotta lower this down.
Oh, that sounded good.
Yep, starting off great.
3 days later.
Gotta do some modifications to the pre-bent hose. But as you can see, the big bore gearbox is in. We got that hose on the gearbox there. You're trying to get it on the pump, right?
Yep. Once again, not right. So I'm missing it by about 3 inches. It's not long enough.
Just an FYI, we were unable to route this hose the way the instructions read. The instructions read that you're supposed to run it in the front of the cross member to reuse these clamp bolts. It was not long enough to do so. So we had to run it behind the cross member to get over there. So unlike a JK, where the cooler or the reservoir runs this way, this one goes in place of where the old pump was. But it's got to be partially assembled first before it can go in. Pliers. Do you want channel locks or actual?
If I can get it back off, I can move it. Push lock.
Oh. It's the stuff that we used for fuel line.
Yeah.
And for the people who don't know, what is push lock?
It's not coming off until you cut it off. Because the barbs, if it goes over, it expands it. And then they got a sharp edge on the backside that locks it. So it doesn't pull back off. And once you put a clamp on there, it seals really good actually. It's not like a pressure fitting, but it seals pretty good.
And it actually says it on the hose.
Does it?
Yeah.
I can tell by the fitting.
Well, that's because we've used it before. But for people who don't know, if it says push lock on the hose, it's a pain to get off once installed. Works really good in racing applications. So close. Looks like it goes on one of them because it's got to go to the splash valve, doesn't it?
That's the.
Dang it! It's the other reservoir. It's the overflow for the reservoir.
Yeah. Well, that's how you fill this reservoir.
Here's the anti-splash valve. Oh, this is just a little. So there is a reservoir for the reservoir.
Yes.
Main reservoir is on. Jared is now working on the second reservoir or fill reservoir, whatever you want to call it. Do you want me to do that so you don't lose them?
I'm just going to embrace it.
What are you going to do if you lose them?
It's a 1/4 by 20 at least. There we go.
So you can put a wing nut on it?
I could have, yeah.
So this is the fill reservoir. This has a hose that comes off, then goes to the anti-splash valve. That's the hose there. They said install fittings into cooler with thread sealant. Install fittings into cooler with thread sealant. I was gonna say, do you have a preference on which one it's gonna be? Hey, before you put that on there, should we put it on there to see where the hoses are gonna fall?
Well, I'm figuring it's probably going to be easier to get it in the bottoms. I don't know.
If it's up on those first holes though, is it gonna clear the grill?
I don't know. I'm sure just without even looking, these bolts are going to be hard as hell to do. No, not bad.
How did you get the grill off without taking off the winch?
The winch is just floating there.
Oh,
It's unbolted completely.
But it's just still sitting there.
Yeah, I didn't want to unhook the wiring or anything.
So if need be, we can set the grill on there.
That's tucked in there pretty close.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried about it.
Okay. Are you doing it the right way?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Positive?
I can't mess it up if I try.
Getting the fittings tightened on the cooler, which is going to go behind the grill. The black thing that the cooler is on is the bracket that comes with the kit to mount it right here. Cooler is basically mounted, it's just kind of loose for now. The one hose over here is on the hose to the gearbox. Jared is working on getting that hose on this side of the cooler to the that
reservoir.
thing. Yeah. I think you're on the other side of the woohoo.
Hold on, let me get this side first.
Yep. So it goes on the front of the reservoir, which is where all of the wires are. Trying to get the fitting to turn. Welcome back, guys. This is the ending of the PSC steering install kit on the Gladiator. Unfortunately, the J-Scan does not have the ability to completely disable the electronic power steering. So what ends up happening is you get a message and warning lights that say service electronic power steering, and if you don't tell the computer to not look for the electronic power steering, people have reported that it causes a bunch of codes and makes the Jeep not run. It'll put it into limp mode. So towards the end of the Colorado trip, I bought a Taser JL Mini, which is plugged in right down here, right here. So all you have to do is unplug the two wires that plug into the back of the OBD2 port. They plug right into it. Now the good thing with the Taser is being this is the only JT, being mine is a JK, this can stay plugged in to the Gladiator. Alright, so as you can see, it's got the little steering column symbol over here, steering wheel symbol over here. Right here, it's got the symbol saying service power steering. So what you have to do, according to the instructions, is you first have to go to the screen that says audio, and then you got to hold the symbol, the arrow over here, and then the cancel button at the same time. So I found the Mary. The instructions say it takes 15 seconds. It's actually 20, and it does a little countdown, as you can see there. So I'm tying the Jeep to the Taser because we have no other vehicle that's going to use this. Okay, so it switched from Mary question mark to married. Okay, so here's the off-road screen. So I'm going to select it, which again is holding the arrow to the left and selecting the, I can't do this with two hands. I have made my way to the off-road page. I am in the menus. I am on EP steer. It is selected yes. So I'm going to change that value by holding the arrow left and selecting the cruise control on off button to change it to no. Okay, so I've got that switched to no. So the reboot is being done, then I got to go through 2 sleep cycles. All right, so I'm currently doing a sleep cycle per the instructions. Says the quickest way to do 2 sleep cycles is to turn the ignition off, open and close the driver's door, and wait about 60 seconds. After the dash goes dark, then turn the ignition on, but not the engine, and repeat once more. This step is critical after changing settings, or settings may not save. Okay, so I have restarted the Gladiator. Obviously, the little Avenger symbol for the auto start stop because the battery is missing is still there, but there is no more lights for the steering being gone. This is like butter right now. This is so nice. It's like my Jeep. Here, I'll show you. There is no struggle. No struggle whatsoever. I'm doing this one-handed. Before, even not moving, this would be a huge pain in the butt. Look at this. So I will link the Taser down below from Amazon. It's the same price everywhere. It doesn't matter if it comes from Quadratech, Northridge, Extreme Terrain, Real Truck, Amazon, Taser themselves. It is all the same price. So I will link it down in the description below. Amazon has the fastest shipping, as most people with Prime know. Also, I'm, again, not wearing any of our merch, but I will link our merch down in the description below. We've got patches, hats, sweatshirts, short sleeve shirts, long sleeve shirts, hoodies, big and tall hoodies. We also have our Patreon where you can get access to content sooner. You can also get like behind the scenes as far as what's going on. Patreon members knew about this going on 2 or 3 weeks ago. You can also get access to our campsites, waypoints, routes that we plan on doing. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment down below. Let us know if you have done a Taser, if you've deleted the electronic power steering and go to hydraulic. I know some models you cannot go hydraulic assist all the way. You still have to keep the electronic power steering. And yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next one.